Hi, my name is Magnus Mattsson. In this video, I will ask Alastair Williamson, CEO of Wyld Networks, some questions about him and the company as they are planning to list their shares on the NASDAQ First North Growth Market Stock Exchange in Stockholm. So, to begin, Alastair, could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello, Marcus. So yes, my name's Alastair Williamson, and I'm the CEO of Wyld Networks. I've been in the telecommunication business for the last 30 years. The early years I spent in corporate companies such as Lucent and Alcatel-Lucent. And then I found my niche, which was really sort of working in startup companies. And that's really where my passions come from. It's actually taking startup companies through the scale up process and then the growth evolution through to maturity. My background is in physics, so as you can imagine, innovation has been one of my key focuses. And I'm always striving to look for new innovation that actually fixes real world problems.
So, why did you decide to list the company in Stockholm, Sweden, and not in, say, London?
The reason we chose to list on the NASDAQ First North was relatively simple. There was three issues we looked at. The first one is the NASDAQ brand. The NASDAQ brand is very, very powerful. And, you know, we're doing business in the US, and when you speak to companies like Verizon and AT&T, when they notice that you actually are listed on the NASDAQ, it gives our company credibility in doing business with these large companies. The second reason we looked at listing on the NASDAQ First North came down to actually being part of Europe. There was a driver, that there are benefits in business in being part of Europe. And the third reason was that there is a huge potential market in Sweden of highly qualified telecommunication engineers, particularly in the satellite space. So we can actually tap that resource and bring that resource into the Wyld Networks company.
You offer connectivity solutions in areas where mobile or Wi-Fi networks are unavailable or congested. What would you say are Wyld Networks' key competitive advantages?
Yes, we've got two solutions, and both of those solutions address the lack of wireless connectivity around the world. Our first solution is called Wyld Connect. Now, today, currently is about 15% of the world's surface is actually covered by mobile wireless networks. The other 85% is underserved. So we've developed a technology for the Internet of Things. And this technology connects IoT devices from the ground directly to low Earth orbiting satellites, providing complete total coverage around the world. Now, one of the benefits of our technology is the fact that we utilize unlicensed spectrum to connect those devices directly to low Earth orbiting satellites, as compared to other previous generation technologies that use licensed spectrum. So we've managed to reduce the cost of the complete delivery of internet connectivity anywhere in the world. Now, the applications are in agriculture, they're in maritime, transportation, oil and gas, anywhere in the world where there's no connectivity today. The other solution that we've developed is more focused at how do we fix the problem of congested internet connectivity, where lots of people are coming together and you can't get onto the internet. So we've developed a patented technology to connect smartphones directly to smartphones without the need for Wi-Fi or 4G. And the applications are in conferences, in stadiums, in retail, everywhere where you get lots of people coming together and you have the issue of congested internet connectivity.
Could you tell us a bit about your strategy for market uptake and scale up?
Our route to market and our strategy to take these solutions to market is relatively simple. We are working with large companies that already have existing contracts with end users of our solution. They've got large sales forces, they've got brand recognition, and they're already in the market. So we've already signed up a lot of partners and resellers to take our solution into that market. The product will still be branded Wyld, but we're leveraging these large companies to actually grow the company as rapidly as possible.
So, what are your growth ambitions?
We formed the company in 2016, and we spent the early years, the first 3 years, developing the solutions that I talked about earlier. Towards the end of 2019 and in 2020, we commercially launched and we started to generate revenues in 2020. And towards the end of this year, we'll be launching our satellite IoT solution. And to give you an idea of the size of that market, it's predicted that between now and 2026, in the satellite IoT space, there's going to be about 30.3 million IoT modules deployed. Now, that's the exact market that we're going after at this moment in time. So we see a high exponential growth taking place over the next few years.
In conjunction with the listing on NASDAQ First North, you plan to conduct a share issue, raising capital. What will you use the proceeds for?
So our plans for the use of proceeds are to focus on three key areas. One is to focus on building our commercial organization, putting our partnership programs and our reseller programs, and we're looking at spending about 45% of the use of proceeds on commercialization, which is obviously important to start to continue to grow these revenues. Another 38% of the use of proceeds is going to be spent on the development organization, and that's about ensuring that we can continue to develop the product and hit the roadmap that we put in front of us. The other 17% of the use of proceeds are going to be put into play to build up an organization in Asia Pacific and an organization in the US. Those are the two markets that we believe can generate substantial revenues for Wyld Networks.